Hey, what's up guys, it's Girlhands, and you're looking at some Gotham City Impostors gameplay. I believe it was launched on PSN Tuesday and was released on Xbox Live yesterday. And I thought I'd give you guys some of my first day impressions of the game so far, although I did play the beta before, so I do have some experience with the game outside of just playing it yesterday. A big reason why I picked up this game in the first place was because I enjoyed the beta so much. And I waited to put up any gameplay at all. Like, even though I had some beta gameplay, I didn't want to put it up on the channel because the beta had an NDA associated with it, and I did not want to risk getting a copyright infringement strike on the channel, so that's why I waited until now to put up any gameplay. It's a first-person shooter, obviously. You can tell from the gameplay. I think most of your time is going to be spent playing the multiplayer portion of the game, although there are some single-player components. There's no story mode whatsoever, but there are challenge missions that you can complete offline. And you do different things in a certain period of time for like a gold, silver, or bronze medal. And there's also an online leaderboard, so you can compete against the community as well. So there are some single player features, but like I said, I think most of your time is going to be spent playing the multiplayer portion of the game. And the backstory is that Batman has left Gotham City. I have no idea why, but apparently he is gone. And while he is away, a lot of his fans have decided to take the streets and institute their own brand of vigilante justice. Unfortunately, they don't have the same cash flow as Bruce Wayne, so they can't afford the high-tech, non-lethal weapons that Batman can to fight criminals. Instead, these guys have to make do with guns and makeshift gadgets. And you can probably tell from the gameplay that it's nothing like Arkham City or Arkham Asylum. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's kind of silly, kind of cartoony, so don't expect like Christian Bale in the background screaming, "Where is he?" You know, it's just meant to be fun and silly. It's definitely not along the same lines as Arkham City. And there's 3 different game modes on the multiplayer side of things. At least I think there are 3. I need to go back and check. There's TDM, something that's very similar to domination. You have to hold these 3 like gas chambers, and whoever holds the most longest wins. And then finally, there's something very similar to sabotage. I think it's called like psychological warfare or psych warfare. I don't remember the name, but you grab a battery in the center of the map and you have to take it over to their like propaganda machine, and you put the battery in there, and every time the battery goes off and the machine goes off, you get a point. And I think it's the first to 3 or 4 points, or it's time based. I don't know. I haven't played it since the beta. I don't really remember, but there's 3 game modes. They're all a ton of fun. This is actually the first time, that match right there was the first time I played TDM, but they're all pretty fun in their own right. But let me give you guys my initial impressions of the game. I'll go ahead and get the bad stuff out of the way first. Now, that beginning clip that I showcased was the first match I ever played on the full retail copy of the game. I didn't show off the entire match, though, because about halfway through, people just started dropping out like flies. I think it went from 6 versus 6 to 2 versus 2, and the reason people were backing out was because it was so laggy. It was almost unbearable. You really couldn't hit anybody because they were teleporting all over the place. People would try to jump and they'd instantly appear in the sky. It just was not running smoothly at all. And the beta was laggy, yeah, but it wasn't nearly as bad as what I was experiencing there. So yeah, that was a really big problem, and I can understand why people were wanting to back out. And I know it doesn't have dedicated servers. I believe it works in the same style as Call of Duty, so peer-to-peer. So if the host has crappy internet, then everybody just has to grit and bear it. So yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. And I don't know if it's restricted to just Xbox Live. I don't know if people on PSN are having the same problems as well. I have seen other people seeing these same issues, though. It's not just something isolated to me. I've seen a lot of people having similar problems. If you're playing the game, if you're not experiencing any lag at all, let me know. But right now, that was one of my chief complaints. And another problem I was having was the matchmaking. It took me 15 minutes to get into that game. And it was really strange about the matchmaking system was it would get like 10 people or 8 people in the lobby, so that's enough for 4v4 or 5v5. But it wouldn't start the game. It would still try to find people, and it couldn't. So people would just start to back out, and you have to restart the process all over again. So 15 minutes to get into the game is a bit much. Hopefully they'll find a way to reduce that overall time. I know that was kind of an issue back in the beta, although it never took that long. I'm hoping that these are just launch day issues. If this is the status quo, if this is the game, if this is how the game normally plays, then yeah, I would not recommend picking the game up because it takes forever to get into a match, and then the match is a lag fest. But if they do manage to figure this stuff out, if they do fix these problems, then this game has a ton of potential. I think one of its best features is the sheer amount of customization. You can change anything from how you approach the game, like your general gameplay, to your different weapons, to how your character looks. Like I said before, these guys are on a budget, so you can make your character have a cardboard mask, and he can use rams or hubcaps as bullets or as body armor. You can use a towel as a cape, so you can make your character look however you want. You can also change his body type, so you can make him morbidly obese. And you're probably asking yourself, why would you want to make your character super fat? He'd just be easier to hit. Well, yeah, he's easier to hit and he's slower, but he takes a lot more damage. So it's kind of like a tank character. Or you could go the other direction. You can make your character really small. He's going to be much faster, much more nimble, but he's going to have a lot less health. So you can, even just changing how your character looks can affect your gameplay and how the game plays. And on top of that, there are a ton of gadgets. Right here I'm using the glider. Obviously it allows me to glide around the map, and you can do these power attacks where you can kind of dive bomb into characters and hurt them. And the larger your character, the more damage you're going to do. What other gadgets are there? My personal favorite gadget right now is the grappling hook. I was using it a little while before. It allows you to grab different things in the distance and just pull yourself up there. You can even use it on ground level to kind of sprint across the ground. I think later on in the video you'll see skates, the spring shoes that allow you to jump over different obstacles, and gas-propelled shoes that allow you to double jump. And I think there's even other gadgets as well. I haven't unlocked everything. I'm not even close. I think I'm like level 5 or 6. There's a ton of different gadgets you can unlock, and they all affect the gameplay in different ways. And when I played the beta, and even though the game was really laggy, it's fun. I mean, it's not probably not super competitive. I'm sure there's some like imbalances here and there, but for the most part, it's just plain fun. All the different little silly things you can do, and the weapons, all the varieties of weapons. You have your traditional staples like SMGs, assault rifles, shotguns, rocket launchers, but you also have these special things in there as well, like freeze ray guns, slingshots that throw explosive glasses. What are some of the other things that you have? Crossbows, a bunch of different weapons, bunch of different combinations that you can all mix and match however you want. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think this game has a ton of potential. I think it can be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, right now, the biggest thing's holding it back is the networking. It's just the lag is pretty unbearable, and it takes forever to get into a game. I think it's definitely worth giving it a look-see. I think there's a demo too. I think you can give it a try. But I'm going to do a video later on in the future to let you know if they fix these issues, and if they do, I highly recommend picking this game up. I think it's like 1,200 Microsoft points, but I'll let you know how the game turns out. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and like always, take it easy.